The last time I was going to do one of these was in Dallas, Texas. And so I walked up, and the stage was from here to here, but I didn't know that. And they had a table right here, all lined with chairs. And so I walk back and forth at the beginning of everything that I do. So I went to move this chair in like this, right? And the chair was way out here. And so I did this to start to move the chair, but there was a curtain there, and there was no stage. And I fell. And I fucking hurt myself. So I'm going to move this chair up closer. I fractured my collarbone and my sternum and was in the hospital for 30 days. So you can say, oh God, that's terrible. Okay, that's good. So anyway, now, shut up. You want to fucking try to heckle me? Go for it, dude. So anyway, yeah, right. Go eat another muffin. So anyway, everybody wants to know Meat Loaf, okay? So I did a lot of theater in New York, and I did 6 Broadway plays, one being Rocky Horror, and I did the worst musical ever written in the world called Rockabye Hamlet. And I don't know if you know Hamlet, but in Hamlet there's a character, a girl named Ophelia, and she kills herself. Well, in this play, Ophelia strangled herself with a mic cord. Right, okay. And so I also did 2 Shakespeares, and I did a little, I'm an actor, that's what I do. So when I was in New York, I did a few interviews, and I did with New York Times and different things, and not one time did any interviewer ever ask me, why Meat Loaf? So, okay, cool. So, in fact, one of the interviewers, the most famous at the time, I did Shakespeare, and he didn't like the play, but he said there was only 3 real people on stage last night. Mr. Julia, Miss Hurt, and Mr. Loaf. So now then, Bat Out of Hell is released, and Jim Steinman and myself, we go into our first interview, and the first freaking question was, why do you call yourself Meat Loaf? I went, what? He said, this is rock and roll, man. What cream, Procol Harum, Deep Purple, what, you know, are you crazy? And so anyway, I'm going to tell you how, and I made up, after that they wanted to know, so I made up stories. Just so you'll hear all these stories about how I got my name. But I'm going to tell you how it happened. I was 4 days old, and the reason I know that this is true is somewhere in this little tin box is a picture of me in the nursery and 4 days old, and on the front is this. So this is my father, who was a policeman in Dallas, but also a redneck hillbilly, okay? So here's my father. My son there looks like 9.5 pounds of ground chuck. So what I want you nurses to do is I want you to make a sign that says meat, and I want you to put it on the front of that little cradle. In that little slot you put meat. Sir, I'm sorry, we can't do it. Wait a second now. You see this? You see this badge here? I'm a policeman, and you have to do everything I tell you to do. So I want you to put in that crib, in that slot, the name Meat. So that's where meat came from when I was 4 days.